Well, let's talk to Professor Mahjoob Zweiri, who is an academic and expert on Middle East politics. Professor, very good morning. Can you give us, first of all, the background, the historical background to these protests, and tell us maybe, in your opinion, why previous sets of protests have amounted to very little?
This is the third demonstrations where Bazaar is fully involved. The first one, 2008, the second one, 2010. Both of them, they happened under Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and both of those demonstrations happened because of legislation change on taxes. The first one about VAT, 3%, and the other one about increasing the cost of living, renting houses, taxes on revenue, which requested at that time 70%. This is the third time where Bazaar feels the heat. Basically, the Bazaar is indicating that people have no enough money to buy any kind of, I would say, need, and which basically requires a lot of concern to the Bazaar. Let's not forget, Bazaar is the main alliance of the Islamic Republic of Iran. There are three main source of power for Islamic Republic of Iran. The first one, the Revolutionary Guard. The second one is the religious circle. And the third one is the Bazaar. And as we see, the Bazaar now is basically feeling upset. That is an important indicator about a fragility of the relationship between the three main components. This is, I think, alarming to the regime there, because the timing is bad. This coming after the war with the 12 days war with Israel in summer. It came also after the killing of the main leaders, military leader of Iran, and which raised a question about the strength of the regime, and also after the attack on their nuclear facilities. So all of this happens in a matter of 6 months, will raise a lot of questions about the strength of the regime to be and the ability to control the current scene.
What are you hearing about the way that they are trying to repress these protests? And are they just happening in Tehran, or have they spread across the country?
Interestingly, in the mainstream media, there is very little, by the way. I was following the story in the last 48 hours. Very little is being said. The scale, it seems, not as being expected. But again, the importance of it, because the involvement of the Bazaar. We heard now about the university is becoming of it, and the university, I witnessed myself when I was doing my PhD there in 1999, a demonstration under Khatami where Revolutionary Guard basically attacking people, students at University of Tehran. I was witness of that 1999. So that indicate that students also have another demands, which beyond the economy and the economic situation. People, they talk about other elements, freedoms and social freedom and all of this. But let's not forget, by the way, in the last 2 years, I would say in the last year, the President Pezeshkian was trying to show some, I would say, less pressure on people when it comes to hijab, for example. But it seems the demand of the people, considering the economic situation, is increasing. And there are a lot of questions about the performance of the government of tackling the major issues, which is basically the economy, considering the inflation now is crossing reaching to 50%, and the unemployment around 8%. So these are an alarming indicators.
I wonder whether, though, I mean, if the Iranian regime was ever brought to its knees, do you think that would happen through protest because of the economy, that people can't afford to eat what they want or they can't get jobs? Or do you think it is going to be more about protesting against the lack of freedoms and the repression that exists?
Look, as someone who worked in Iran for nearly 25 years, the people, they may not like the regime, but they don't want to change the regime using outside forces. They want to do it themselves on their way and according to their own timeline. For simple reason, they don't want to have another authoritarian regime. That is what I was myself gathering when it was there, and also when following the whole matter of Iran. The people, if you remember, when Israel and Iran entered this war in June, there are more opposition of Iranian government who actually went to support the Iranian regime because of the war with Israel. So there is sort of feeling within the Iranian, a feeling of a pride of being Iranian does not allow them to say, okay, we will not allow foreigners to change. We will do it ourselves based on our timeline. If we have a crisis internally, we will do it, but they don't want involvement. And that itself, I think, will complicate any intervention from outsider, because let's not remember the current establishment used any support from outsider to I would say to undermine any internal critique or demonstration. So the people now they are more vigilant that they will not accept support from outside, so their movement will not be undermined or tackled in a very bloody manner.
Have I misremembered, though? In 2008, wasn't there a feeling among the people who were protesting at the time, they felt completely let down by the fact that they thought they had been promised help from America and outside, and it didn't materialise, and they felt let down by that. Now, what you seem to be saying now is that is not the situation here. They'd actually prefer America, or indeed any other Western country, to just stay out.
Exactly. They don't trust them. They feel that they have intervened in a very bad manner in Iraq, in Afghanistan. They have not helped the people there to be free or to change their situation. The situation there become worse. In other ways, they don't want to see destruction. They don't want to see the cities are destroyed. They don't want to see a failed state. They want, I would say, more quiet change. Maintaining the institutions, the identity of the country, the cultural identity of the country, maintaining, I would say, the pride of being Iranian.